The first corpse you see explodes. Literally explodes. The undertaker is trying to move it, and the body is so bloated with gas and rot that it bursts like a rotten fruit. Pus, blood, intestines, stomach contents. The smell. Oh God, the smell. It's not just bad. It's a physical presence. A wall of rot that hits you like a fist. Sweet and putrid at the same time. Like rotting flowers mixed with sewage and meat left in the sun for a week. Your stomach lurches. You try to hold it. You can't. You vomit. Right there in front of everyone. The undertaker doesn't even look up. He's seen this before. Welcome to your new job, Doctor. Europe, 1348. The Black Death has arrived. 1/3 of the continent will be dead in 5 years. 50 million corpses. You just became a plague doctor. Not because you're smart. Not because you're qualified. Not because you have any medical knowledge whatsoever. Because everyone else already died or ran away. The real doctors saw the first wave of bodies and fled. Rich physicians with actual education. Gone. Vanished. They had horses and country estates to hide in. You have neither. You weren't born a doctor. You were born a barber. Your job was cutting hair, shaving beards, pulling rotten teeth, and occasionally draining boils from fat merchants. No medical school. No training. No understanding of disease or anatomy. You know how to use a blade. That's it. But the real doctors fled the cities the moment the plague arrived. Cowards with actual knowledge. Now the city council is desperate. They need someone. Anyone. Bodies are piling up in the streets. The smell is everywhere. People are dying in their homes with no one to help them. Someone needs to wear the mask. They see you. You own sharp instruments and you're still breathing. That's the entire qualification. Congratulations. You're a plague doctor now. They hand you a contract. 6 pages of Latin legal text. You can't read it. You can't read anything. You never learned. But the city clerk explains it anyway. Slowly, like you're a child. You will examine plague victims, confirm deaths, report numbers, try to heal the sick. You will be paid 6 florins a week. 6 florins. That's more money than you've ever seen in your life. Why so much? The clerk doesn't say it, but you can see it in his eye, because you'll be dead in a month, maybe less. The previous plague doctor lasted 3 weeks. The one before that lasted 9 days. You're the 3rd one this month. They give you the uniform, the costume, the mask, the famous bird mask, long curved beak like a crow or a vulture, something that eats the dead. The beak is packed with herbs, spices, and dried flowers, lavender, rose petals, cloves, mint, camphor, myrrh. It's supposed to filter the bad air, the miasma, the poisonous vapors they think cause the plague. The theory: disease comes from foul-smelling air. Sweet-smelling herbs will block it. The reality: it does absolutely nothing. But you don't know that yet. The mask is heavy, thick leather, dark, claustrophobic. The eye holes are glass, small, foggy. You can barely see through them. Everything is dim and distorted. The beak extends a foot from your face. You keep bumping into things. You try to breathe. The air inside is hot and stale. The herbs are suffocating. Your own breath fogs the glass. You're sweating already, and you haven't even left the room. They give you a long waxed coat, black ankle-length, heavy as armor. It's supposed to protect you from the corrupted air. It's thick canvas, soaked in wax and animal fat, waterproof, stiff. It doesn't breathe at all. Within minutes, you're drenched in sweat. The coat traps everything: heat, moisture, smell. The smell of death will soak into this fabric, into the wax, into your skin. You'll smell like corpses for the rest of your short life. You'll never get it out. Never. They give you leather gloves, thick, clumsy. You can barely feel anything through them. Good. You don't want to feel what you're about to touch. They give you a wooden stick, a cane, longer than your arm, not for walking, for poking. You use it to examine bodies without touching them, to lift clothes and check for buboes, to turn corpses over, to measure distance, to keep desperate, dying people away from you. 6 feet, always 6 feet. Close enough to examine, far enough to maybe, possibly, hopefully avoid infection. You're not a healer. You're a professional distance keeper. Your first house call. A family of 5. The father met you at the door yesterday, begged you to come. Now the door is open. No one answers your knock. You push it open with your stick. The smell hits you even through the mask. Death, fresh death, recent death. You step inside. They're all dead. Father, mother, 3 children. The youngest is maybe 4 years old. She's still in her bed, eyes open, staring at nothing. Black buboes on her neck, both sides swollen like eggs. Her skin is pale, waxy. Her lips are blue. You've never seen a dead child before. You stand there staring, not knowing what to do. Your hand is shaking. The stick rattles against the doorframe. You're supposed to examine her, confirm the death, document the buboes. You can't move. The city clerk appears behind you. He leaves. You're still standing there. The little girl's eyes are still open. You reach out with the stick, gently close her eyelids. It's the only kind thing you'll do all day. Your first living patient is a woman, 40 years old maybe. It's hard to tell. The plague ages people fast. She's shaking, fever. Her clothes are soaked with sweat. She can barely stand. Her husband is holding her up. She shows you her armpit, trembling, terrified. There it is, the bubo, a swelling the size of an apple, purple, black at the edges. She begs you to help her. Her voice is raw, broken. Please, please save me. I have children. You have no idea what to do. No idea. So you do what you were trained to do as a barber. You cut it open. You press the bubo with your gloved hand. Feel for the right spot. The woman screams, just from the pressure. You take your lancet, a small, sharp blade. You make the cut. Quick, deep. The bubo bursts. The smell hits you first, even through the mask and the herbs and the wax. Rotting meat mixed with sewage and something sweet, something fundamentally wrong. Pus sprays out, black, yellow, green, chunky. It hits your coat, your gloves, your mask, the wall behind you. The woman screams, a sound you'll hear in your sleep for the rest of your life. Her husband looks away. He's crying. You pack the wound with cloth soaked in vinegar, medieval antiseptic, the best you have. It does nothing. You know it does nothing. But you do it anyway, because doing something feels better than doing nothing. You tell her to rest, to drink water, to pray. She'll be dead by morning. You know it. She knows it. Her husband knows it. But no one says it out loud. You see 5 more patients that day. All the same. Fever, chills, weakness, buboes in the armpits, the groin, the neck. You cut them all open. Drain the pus. Pack the wounds with vinegar-soaked cloth. You're a butcher pretending to be a doctor. By sunset, your coat is covered in fluids you can't identify and don't want to think about. Your gloves are stiff with dried pus. The glass eyes of your mask are smeared with God knows what. You go home, if you can call it home, a small room above a bakery. The baker died 2 weeks ago. His widow rents you the room. She won't come near you. She leaves food outside your door. You leave coins. You never see her. You strip off the coat, the gloves, the mask. Your hands are shaking so badly you can barely untie the straps. Your clothes underneath are soaked with sweat. They stick to your skin. You smell like death, like rot, like the inside of a mass grave. You try to wash. There's a bucket of water. It's been sitting for 3 days. You splash it on your face, your hands, your arms. It doesn't help. The smell is in your skin, in your hair, in your lungs. You'll never be clean again. Your hands are shaking. Your stomach is a knot. You can't eat. Everything tastes like copper and rot. You try anyway. Force down some bread, some cheese. It sits in your stomach like a stone. You try to sleep. You dream about the little girl, eyes open, staring. You dream about the bursting bubo, the spray of pus, the screaming. You dream about your own armpits, swelling, turning black. You wake up at midnight, drenched in sweat. Is it the heat, the fear, or is it fever? You check your armpits, your groin, your neck, behind your ears, between your toes. No swelling. Not yet. You try to go back to sleep? You can't. You lie there in the dark, listening to your heartbeat, waiting for the fever to start. It doesn't. Not tonight. You'll check again in the morning, and every hour after that, for the rest of your short life. Week 2, the bodies are piling up faster than they can bury them. The gravediggers are dying. The priests are dying. The cart drivers are dying. Everyone is dying. The city has given up on individual graves. Now it's mass pits. Huge trenches outside the city walls. They dump bodies in by the dozen. Lime powder between the layers. To speed up decomposition. To hide the smell. It doesn't work. The smell is everywhere. You can taste it in your food, in your water, in every breath. The city smells like one giant rotting corpse. You're seeing 30 patients a day now. 40, 50. You've stopped counting. Most are already dead when you arrive. You just confirm it. Mark the door with a red cross painted in lamb's blood. Warning, plague house. Stay away. Death inside. The families beg you to help. On their knees, sobbing. Save my husband. Save my wife. Save my children, please. You can't. You don't know how. Nobody knows how. So you lie. You tell them to pray, to drink boiled water, to avoid night air, to burn sage. It's all bullshit. Every word, but it's better than saying the truth. You all going to die, and there's nothing I can do about it. You start experimenting, trying anything, everything, bloodletting, the old standby. You cut their veins, usually the arms, sometimes the leg. Let the bad blood out. That's the theory. You drain them into bowls, cups, buckets, a pint, a quart, sometimes more. The blood is dark, almost black. That's bad blood, right? Wrong. You're just making them weaker, taking away the little strength they have left. They die faster now. But at least you tried something. At least you did something. That's what you tell yourself. You try leeches, medicinal leeches, fat black slugs that suck blood. You cover patients in them, dozens at a time. Arms, legs, neck, chest, the leeches attach, swell, fall off, fat and satisfied. The patients get weaker, paler, colder, then they die. The leeches are fine. They're thriving, actually. You try cupping, heated glass cups placed on the skin. The heat creates suction, pulls the bad humors out, or so they say. It leaves perfect circular bruises, dark purple, almost black. It looks like you're beating your patients. You might as well be. They die anyway. You try cauterization. Fire. You heat an iron rod until it glows orange, red, white. You press it against the buboes. The screaming is unbearable, inhuman. The smell of burning flesh fills the room. Your mask, your lungs. It's different from the rot smell. Sharper, meatier. You'll never forget it. Some patients pass out from the pain, unconscious before you finish. They're the lucky ones, the ones who stay awake. They scream until their voices give out. Then they just make this wet, gasping sound. It doesn't work. The buboes come back, bigger, angrier, or the patients die from shock and blood loss. But hey, you tried. You try mercury, quicksilver, liquid metal. The ancients used it for everything. It must work for plague too, right? You rub it on the buboes, massage it into the skin. You make patients drink it. Small doses mixed with wine. Their teeth turn black. Their gums bleed. They drool constantly. The mercury pools in their mouths. Silver liquid dripping down their chins. They vomit. Blood and mercury and bile. Then they die, but slower than before. So that's progress. You try Theriac, the miracle cure, a complex mixture of 64 ingredients, viper flesh, opium, honey, herbs, spices, wine. It costs more than most people earn in a year. The rich buy it by the barrel, drink it like water. Does it work? No. They die just as fast as the poor, just as ugly, just as screaming, but at least they die expensive. A wealthy merchant offers you his entire fortune, everything, his house, his ships, his warehouses, full of silk and spice. Just save his son. You examine the boy, 12 years old, buboes on his neck, both sides, already turning black. He's dead. He just doesn't know it yet. You take the money anyway. A chest of gold florins. You try everything. Bleeding, burning, mercury, leeches, prayer, threats. You even try begging God, begging the boy to fight. Nothing works. The boy dies at dawn, coughing blood, calling for his mother. His mother is already dead, has been for 3 days. The merchant blames you, screams at you, curses you. You keep the gold. The boy doesn't need it anymore. Neither does the merchant. He'll be dead by next week. You start seeing patterns, learning. Buboes in the armpits. 3 days until death. Maybe 4 if they're strong. Buboes in the groin. 4 days, 5 if you're lucky. Buboes in the neck. 2 days, maybe less. Multiple buboes. 1 day, maybe hours. The ones coughing blood, they're already dead. They just don't know it yet. Pneumonic plague. It spreads through the air. One cough in a crowded room. Everyone infected. You start wearing 2 masks, one inside the other. It doesn't help. You see a family. Father, mother, 2 daughters, grandmother, all sick, all dying. The father is already dead, stiff in his chair, flies on his face. The mother is unconscious, buboes everywhere. Her breathing is wet, rattling. The grandmother is praying, rosary in her hands, crying, holding hands. The older one is maybe 10. The younger one is 6. They both have buboes on their necks. The older girl asks you if they're going to die. You want to lie. You try to lie. The words won't come. You nod. Yes, she doesn't cry. She just squeezes her sister's hand tighter. The younger one asks if it will hurt. You lie this time. You tell her no. It's the kindest thing you've done in weeks. They're all dead by evening. You mark the door with the red cross. Another plague house. You don't cry. You stopped crying in week 3. Tears are a luxury. You can't afford them anymore. You're numb now, hollow, empty. Death is normal. Life is the strange thing. Another doctor arrives, a real one this time, a physician from the university, educated, trained. He's younger than you, clean, confident. He has theories, ideas, real medicine. He's going to save everyone. He's sure of it. You don't tell him he won't. He'll learn. He lasts 6 days. Pneumonic plague, coughing blood from day 2, dead on day 6, drowning in his own fluids. You find his body, still wearing his mask. The herbs in the beak are fresh, expensive. Didn't help. You take his medical bag, his instruments, his books. You can't read the books, but the instruments are good quality, better than yours. He doesn't need them anymore. You start going numb, literally numb. Your hands don't feel things right anymore. The gloves, the lancet, the stick, everything feels distant, muffled. Your emotions are the same way, distant, muffled. A child dies in your arms. You feel nothing. A woman begs you to save her. You feel nothing. A man threatens to kill you if his wife dies. She dies. He tries. You feel nothing. You just step back. Use the stick to keep distance. He's too weak to chase you. The plague has him too. He'll be dead tomorrow. You're not scared, not angry, not sad. You're empty. A machine in a bird mask, going through motions. Examine, diagnose, document, move on. Examine, diagnose, document, move on. You see 60 patients a day now. 70, 80. You spend less than a minute on each. Check for buboes. Confirm they're dying. Mark the door. Move to the next house. The next street. The next corpse. You're not healing anyone. You're not even trying anymore. You're just documenting, counting, a walking ledger of death. The city clerk asks for your daily numbers. How many sick? How many dead? You don't know. You stopped counting at 200. He's angry. He needs accurate numbers. For what, you ask? Everyone's dying. What difference do numbers make? He doesn't have an answer. You see other plague doctors now. 4 of them, maybe 5. Most are frauds like you, barbers, butchers. One guy sold fish last month. Now he's draining buboes and prescribing bloodletting. Medieval healthcare at its finest. You all wear the same mask, the same coat, the same dead eyes behind the glass. You look like a murderer of crows, circling the dying city, waiting for everyone to die so you can pick the corpses clean. One doctor goes insane, completely insane. He starts laughing at patients. Can't stop? Won't stop. He laughs while they beg, laughs while they scream, laughs while they die. High-pitched, manic, broken. The city guard drags him away. You never see him again. Another doctor starts drinking the thuriac meant for patients, the opium thuriac, the one that costs a fortune. He's high for 3 days straight, stumbling, slurring, seeing things. Then he walks into a plague house and doesn't come out. You find him a week later, dead, bloated, covered in rats. The rats are fat, well-fed, happy. You're starting to crack too, you know it. You talk to corpses, have full conversations. You ask them questions. You answer for them. How are you feeling today? Dead. Thanks for asking. Did the bloodletting help? No. You killed me faster. You know it's wrong. You know you're losing your mind. You do it anyway. It's better than silence. You haven't slept properly in 2 months. Every time you close your eyes, you see buboes bursting, oozing, multiplying, growing. Black buboes with faces, children's faces, screaming. You wake up gasping, clawing at your own neck, checking for swelling, checking for death. Not yet. Not yet. But soon. You check your body constantly now, every hour, every half hour. Armpits, press deep, feel for hardness, for heat, groin, both sides. Check carefully, neck, under the jaw, behind the ears, at the base of the skull, between your fingers, between your toes, behind your knees, anywhere a bubo might hide. No swelling. Not yet, but you know it's coming. You've seen 600 people die. Your turn is coming. It's just mathematics. A woman offers herself to you. For free, she's young, healthy-looking, desperate for human contact. Everyone she knew is dead. She's completely alone. She doesn't want to die alone. She wants to feel alive. One more time. You refuse. Not because you're noble, not because you're moral, because she might be infected and not know it yet. The plague can hide for 3 days, 4 days, sometimes a week, hiding, waiting, growing. Then suddenly, fever, buboes, death. You can't trust anyone, can't touch anyone. 6 feet away, always. You're alone in a city of dying strangers. The loneliness is worse than the fear, worse than the smell, worse than the nightmares. You're surrounded by people begging for help and you can't touch any of them. A man grabs your coat, desperate, dying. Please, help me. I have money. I have gold. You hit him with the stick, hard across the shoulders. He falls, coughing, bleeding from the mouth. You step back, 6 feet. He dies there. In the street, alone, you feel nothing. You used to feel guilt, shame, horror. Now, nothing. You're not human anymore. You're a function, a tool, a plague counting machine, and a bird mask. Winter comes. You pray it will slow the plague. They say cold kills disease, freezes it, stops it. They're wrong. The plague doesn't care about the weather. It keeps killing, faster, harder. The cold just makes everything worse. The bodies freeze in the streets, stack like firewood. You can't dig graves. The ground is frozen solid, so they burn them. Huge pyres on the edge of the city, hundreds of bodies at a time. The smoke is black, thick. It smells like roasted meat and burning hair. The smell never leaves. It soaks into the city, into your clothes, into your lungs. You eat dinner while watching bodies burn. You don't even notice anymore. It's just background, like birdsong or church bells. The smoke blocks out the sun sometimes. The whole city goes dark at noon. Ash falls like snow, soft gray, warm, human ash. It lands on your coat, your mask, your food. You brush it off and keep eating. What else are you going to do? You have a friend, had a friend, another barber. You trained together years ago. He's still alive, still healthy. He's been hiding, staying inside, avoiding everyone. Smart. You visit him just to see a familiar face. He won't let you in, talks to you through a closed window. You don't blame him. You tell him about the plague, the bodies, the futility. He tells you to quit, to run, to hide. There's no point. He says, you can't save anyone. You know he's right. You go back the next week. His door is marked with the red cross. You don't go inside. You already know what you'll find. You mark him in your ledger. Another number, another friend, another corpse. You check yourself again. Armpits, groin, neck, still nothing. Why are you still alive? Why haven't you caught it? 600 patients, maybe 700 now. All dead, all infected, and you're fine. It doesn't make sense. Maybe the mask works. Or maybe you're already dead and you just don't know it yet. Maybe you died weeks ago and this is hell. An eternity of watching people die and being unable to help. That would explain a lot. You're starting to forget what life was like before. Before the plague, before the mask, before the smell. What did you do? Cut hair? That seems impossible now. A world where people cared about how they looked, about vanity, about beauty. That world is gone. Now there's only plague, only death, only the mask. You can't remember your mother's face, your father's voice. You try. The memories are there, somewhere, but they're faded, distant, like looking through fog. The only faces you see clearly are the dead ones. The screaming woman with the burst bubo, the little girl with black buboes on her neck, the boy coughing blood, calling for his dead mother. Those faces are crystal clear, burned into your mind. You'll see them forever. Month 4, you're still alive. You've outlasted everyone, every other doctor, every patient. The city is half empty now, maybe more. Whole streets are abandoned, doors marked with red crosses. Nobody inside but corpses. The rats are everywhere, fat, fearless. They run across your feet. They don't even hurry. They know you're no threat. You're just another corpse waiting to happen. The fleas on the rats, that's what spreads it. You won't know that for another 600 years. Right now you think it's bad air, miasma, God's wrath. You're wrong about everything, but you keep trying, keep working, keep failing, because what else is there? You check yourself. Morning, noon, night, armpits, groin, neck, still nothing, still alive. Why? You check yourself again. Armpits, groin, neck. Wait, there, a lump, small, hard, in your armpit. No. You press it. Pain shoots through your chest. It's real. You have the plague. You knew this was coming. You've seen it hundreds of times. But knowing doesn't make it easier. You have 3 days, maybe 4. You lock yourself in your room. You're not going to a plague house. You're not going to die with strangers. Day 1, fever. Your body is on fire. You're shaking so hard, your teeth hurt. You drink water. You vomit it back up. The bubo grows. You can see it swelling under your skin. You think about cutting it open yourself. You don't. You know it won't help. Day 2, delirium. You'll see things. Shadows moving in the corners. The corpses you failed to save. They're standing around your bed, watching. The little girl with buboes on her neck. She's smiling. Your mother. She's been dead for 10 years. They're all here, waiting. You try to pray. The words don't come. You gave up on God somewhere around patient 200. God gave up on you long before that. Can't breathe properly. Your lungs are filling with fluid. Every breath is a wet rattle. Pneumonic plague. The worst kind. You're coughing blood now. Dark. Thick. It sprays across your sheets, your hands, your chest. You're alone. No one is coming. No doctor will treat a plague doctor. The irony is not lost on you. You die at sunset, drowning in your own fluids. Your last thought, the mask didn't save you. Nothing did. Your body is found 3 days later. The smell gave you away. They don't touch you. They use hooks to drag you out. No funeral, no prayer, no ceremony. They throw you on a cart with 40 other corpses. You're burned in a mass pyre on the edge of town. Your mask melts. Your coat burns. Your bones turn to ash. You're gone. Let's tally up your glorious career as a plague doctor, shall we? You worked for 4 months, 123 days. You saw 647 patients. You saved exactly 2, and they probably survived despite you, not because of you. 645 people died under your care. That's a survival rate of 0.3%. Modern malpractice would destroy you. You performed 230 bloodlettings. All of them made the patients worse. You drained 412 the infection rate from your dirty instruments, 100%. You prescribed mercury 89 times. It poisoned every single patient. You cauterized 115 wounds. None of them healed. You prayed exactly once. On your first day, it didn't work. You stopped trying. You made 600 florins. Blood money. You spent it on food you couldn't taste and wine that didn't help you sleep. You died with 300 florins under your mattress. The landlord took it. You wore the mask every day for 4 months. It protected you from exactly nothing. The herbs in the beak, useless. The waxed coat, useless. The gloves, useless. The plague spreads through fleas on rats. You didn't know that. Nobody knew that. You thought it was bad air, miasma, God's punishment. You were wrong about everything. You think plague doctors were heroes. Let's talk about reality. The mask is iconic. It's haunting. It's memorable. It's also completely fucking useless. It didn't filter anything. It didn't protect anyone. It was a costume, theater, a prop to make you feel safe. Spoiler, you weren't safe. Plague doctors weren't scientists. They were con artists with bird masks. Most had 0 medical training. Barbers, butchers, random guys who needed money. The real doctors, they fled. They knew better. The survival rate for plague doctors, about the same as the patients, roughly 30%. Most plague doctors died within 6 months. You lasted 4. Not bad. The treatments, all of them were worse than doing nothing. Bloodletting weakened patients. Mercury poisoned them. Burning buboes caused infections. Leeches spread disease. You weren't healing anyone. You were torturing them before they died. The Black Death killed 50 million people. Plague doctors saved maybe a few thousand. By accident. Your legacy. A creepy mask that shows up in horror movies. That's it. Let's compare your life to a modern doctor during a pandemic. You're a doctor in 2020. COVID-19 hits. Your hospital has ventilators, oxygen, ICU beds, actual medicine. You have PPE that actually works. Masks with real filters, gloves, gowns. You understand germ theory, viruses, infection control. You wash your hands. You sterilize equipment. You have a chance. The plague doctor had none of that. Your bad day. A patient dies despite your best efforts. You're exhausted. You're traumatized. Their bad day. 30 patients died because you bled them. You have no idea what you're doing. You'll be dead by Friday. You have therapy for PTSD, support groups, mental health care. They had wine and prayer. You have vaccines, antibiotics, antivirals. They had mercury and hope. You saved 70% of your patients. They saved 0.3%. You're a hero. They were a guy in a bird costume waiting to die. You weren't a plague doctor. You were a fraud in a leather beak. You didn't heal. You didn't save. You didn't help. You documented death and collected payment. You were a walking omen, a symbol of despair. When people saw your mask, they knew hope is dead. You were born a barber. You died a failure. And in between, you tortured people with medieval medicine and called it healing. The Black Death ended because the plague burned itself out. Not because of doctors, not because of medicine, because it ran out of people to kill. You didn't stop it. You just watched it happen. History remembers the mask. It forgets the man inside it, the desperate, the unqualified, the doomed. You were a plague doctor and the mask didn't save you. Next time on History Bleeds, Trench Soldier, 1917, rats the size of cats, gas that melts your lungs, and a shovel that's your only friend in hand-to-hand combat. Medieval executioner, 500 heads, zero guilt. One mistake and the crowd tears you apart. Galley slave, chained to an oar for 20 years. If the whip doesn't kill you, the drowning will. We show history without the fairy tales, without the heroes, without the lies, blood, death, truth. Subscribe to History Bleeds. Your next brutal lesson is waiting.